a situation most teams run into. Let's start from something very practical. You take a crop that's already running well. Same variety, same nutrient formula. In coco peat or peat moss, everything looks stable. Growth is uniform, no obvious deficiencies. Then you move that exact setup into aeroponics. And within a short time, problems start to show. New leaves turn pale, edges begin to dry out, and it looks very much like calcium or magnesium deficiency. At this point, most people question the formula first. But in many cases, the formula hasn't changed at all. What changed is the environment the roots are living in. The real difference: buffering versus direct exposure. The easiest way to understand this is to think in terms of buffering. In substrate systems, the media is doing a lot of hidden work. It holds water, stores nutrients, and most importantly, it slows everything down. When EC or pH shifts slightly, the roots don't feel it immediately. The media absorbs part of that change and releases it gradually. So even if your management is not perfect, the system gives you some tolerance. But in aeroponics, that layer is gone. The roots are exposed directly to whatever the system delivers. No storage, no delay, no protection. If something is slightly off, the roots feel it right away. That's why aeroponics reacts faster, but also fails faster. What actually goes wrong inside the system? Once you understand there is no buffer, the common problems start to make sense. Fast ion competition. In aeroponics, roots sit in a high oxygen environment, which makes nutrient uptake very active. That sounds like an advantage, but it also creates imbalance more easily. For example, if potassium or ammonium is slightly higher than ideal, the plant absorbs them very quickly. And when that happens, calcium and magnesium uptake gets suppressed. So the plant shows calcium deficiency symptoms, even though calcium is still present. So the issue is not always missing nutrients, but blocked uptake. Unstable root microenvironment. Another thing that becomes obvious is how unstable the root surface environment can be. As roots absorb nutrients, they release ions that shift local pH. In substrate systems, the media buffers this. But in aeroponics, the root is only covered by a thin film of water. So pH can change very quickly. And once pH drifts out of range, some nutrients, like iron, manganese, zinc, and calcium, become unavailable almost immediately. They are still in the system, but not in a form the plant can use. Mist quality affects delivery. In traditional systems, as long as water reaches the root zone, nutrients are there. But in aeroponics, it's different. Nutrients are delivered through droplets, so mist behavior really matters. If droplets are too large, they fall off too quickly. If droplets are too fine, they evaporate too fast and leave salts behind. In both cases, the plant is not receiving nutrients in a stable way. Even with a correct formula, you can still see deficiency symptoms. Very little margin for error. In substrate systems, mistakes take time to show. You often have a few days to react. But in aeroponics, everything is immediate. If a nozzle is blocked, or a spray cycle is off, plants can show stress within hours. That's why system reliability is much more important. How we need to adjust our approach. To run aeroponics well, we need to shift our mindset. It's no longer about providing enough. It's about controlling precisely. 1. Nutrient solution. Less concentration, better balance. One common mistake is using the same EC as substrate systems. In aeroponics, uptake efficiency is higher, so the required EC is lower. Usually about half to two-thirds works better. Higher concentration does not mean better growth. It often leads to stress and stronger ion competition. At the same time, micronutrients need to be more stable. Using chelated forms, like EDTA or DTPA, helps prevent them from becoming unavailable. And a practical adjustment is slightly increasing calcium while keeping potassium under control. 2. Misting strategy. In aeroponics, how you deliver nutrients is just as important as what you deliver. 2 key factors: droplet size, target, about 50 to 100 microns. Spray timing, short spray, longer pause. For example, a few seconds spraying, followed by a few minutes rest. But this depends on crop type, root density, growth stage, system design. A simple rule: roots should stay evenly moist, but not dripping. Also, don't forget system delay. There is always a gap between pump start and mist reaching roots. If you ignore this, your actual spray time may be shorter than expected. 3. Root zone temperature. Easy to ignore, but very critical. A stable range, 18 to 22 degrees Celsius, works well. Too high, respiration increases, risk of disease rises. Too low, nutrient uptake slows, especially phosphorus, for system reliability. In aeroponics, hardware is not just maintenance, it's survival. If a nozzle stops working, roots can dry out very quickly. No buffer, no protection. So you need fine filtration, at least 120 mesh, and regular cleaning to prevent salt buildup. Bringing it all together, if we step back, aeroponics is not just a more advanced hydroponic system. It removes buffering and exposes the plant directly to every decision we make. That's why it feels more sensitive. Small imbalances become visible very quickly, but this is also its advantage. When controlled well, it responds fast and efficiently. So the key is not just experience, it's control. The better we manage concentration, balance, misting, temperature, and system stability, the more consistent the results will be.